Madam Speaker, the President of the United States.
Multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs. You are.
Hey there, welcome to PPN, Patriot Party News. Happy to have everyone. I hope everybody's going to get ready for a good weekend. I've been thinking about this crazy state fair we're fixing to have, the Great American State Fair, major 16-day national exposition running from yesterday, June 25th through July 10th, 2026 on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., between the U.S. Capitol and the Washington Monument, roughly 4th to 14th Street. It's a large-scale patriotic celebration tied to America's 250th anniversary, styled like a modern World's Fair. It showcases all 56 U.S. states and territories through pavilions, exhibits, entertainment, and family attractions. So, I don't know. I'd like to go hang out there, see what they got going on, have a party. Anyways, let's get this party going. We're going to bring on Mr. Edward and the one and only Oathkeeper Bill and see what these fellas got to say. What's up, man?
Hola, muchachos. How we doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing real good.
Awesome.
Well, anything big going on? Can y'all see anything happening, or are we just out here fiddling around here?
There's nothing happening.
It's all Trump's fault, and I love it.
Yes. They lied to us. Well, if let me say this real quick. Seismic activity in the past 24 hours. Okay, this is worldwide. I'm not just talking in Venezuela. Puerto Rico, a 5.4 magnitude on the west side of the island. Alaska, 7.9. Mexico, 6.2. Peru, 6.0. Now, this one I never heard before, but it's down there by the Antarctic. It's South Sandwich Island, a 5.6. Greece, a 5.4. China, a 6.1. Nepal, 4.1. Vanuatu, 7.5. Indonesia, 7.25. Where's the other one? Oh, in Japan, 6.5. So we are getting hit.
Tsunamis are hitting too, aren't they? Aren't tsunamis? They got tsunami warnings out there all over the place.
This article only shows the tracking the recent, like I said, in the past 24 hours of earthquake.
I think this was from yesterday, but it said the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has issued a tsunami alert for Venezuela and nearby islands following a powerful 7.1 magnitude earthquake. Was that yesterday? I believe that was yesterday.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
Yeah, it's jumping all over the place. That's for sure when it comes to earthquakes. And I'm not saying that's any damages in any of these other countries that I just mentioned based on what the map is showing, but the biggest one is Venezuela. Got hit with a 7.9 and a 7.6, and I was just watching a video where they're digging up kids out of all the, what do you call that, all the rubble.
yes, sir.
People from all over. This one is quite neat. The video also shows people from all over Venezuela hopping in and taking stuff on motorcycles, whatever they could carry, taking it to the affected areas. Motorcycles, trucks, excavators, all types of stuff are moving in to try to dig up whatever remains of people that might be still alive. Like the video that I saw, they pulled out three kids from 3 different areas, of trying to get there. When it's coming to that, there's where is it? Oh yeah, there's help being sent. The U.S. is sending two ships to help. Marines have landed in Venezuela with Ospreys, C-17s.
El Salvador too, right, Eddie?
I don't know about Salvador if they got hit.
No, I heard the El Salvador president is also assisting.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure he will. Yes,
Yep.
he definitely will. Who is it? The U.S., Japan, Israel. There's a whole bunch of other ones that are sending help over there. And when it comes to Venezuela, There's besides the setting aside a little bit for a little bit the earthquake that happened. Also, the U.S. is pushing real hard on the judicial reform. Of that, they sent the president of what's her name? What's her name? Let me look. From she's the one that was in charge of the Dinora Figuera. She's appointed she was the president of the legitimate by the National Assembly in 2015, and she's been directed by the U.S. to again do the same thing, to bring reforms, to help on the different types of contracts, because Venezuela right now is in a deep hole that was created by Chavez and Maduro, which they turn around and have a debt of I think it's somewhere in the range of hold on, I'm jumping from my notes. Something like $300 billion in debt because of all the crooked things that they were doing, selling gold, the drugs and all that stuff, but they were also financing the country by those stuff. Well, let me go back to the beginning, okay, if you guys don't mind, real quick. There has been a enormous finding of oil and natural gas that reaches from Austin to East Texas.
Okay.
They say that there's about 12 million barrels of oil and also 184 billion cubic feet of natural gas, as per the U.S. Geological Service. That's big.
And they just found that out.
They just announced it a couple days ago. Like, yeah, right, sure, yeah. So it's just like the Clamplands, they shot at that rabbit, missed and hit, and then the oil started popping out, type of deal. That's what probably would happen. The Beverly Hillbillies. This is big because and I'm saying on my part of the world as being CBP, that finally the Supreme Court got involved in this and came out with a decision. It says the ruling on temporary protective status protection, judges cannot rule or extend that because it's not part of the judicial, it's part of the executive, and that's administrative, a ruling of protective. In other words, the executive or DHS can determine who is going to be on protective status based on the situation and who is not. It's not a judicial type deal. All these judges have been getting involved in extending temporary protective status to all these people that came into the United States are they can't do it. It's against the law. Then the other thing, just keep on going. Colombia, the newly elected president Espriella was asked during an interview if he would seek to renew relationships with the government of Delcy Rodriguez, the interim president of Venezuela. And his answer was, hell no. those are a whole bunch of crooks. I'm not going to deal with them. If I have to deal with them, I'll go through the United States to do my talks.
Right.
And then another one, and this has come out from different for a whole bunch. I mean, I was surprised because as soon as I started going into this particular rabbit hole, it was a whole bunch of different podcasters or conservative podcasters from Latin America. They're saying that since the defunding of USAID, no leftist or promotion of communism has won any elections in Latin America. Okay? And the examples that they give, which is true, is that Bolivia just elected a conservative president. Chile, the same way. Ecuador, the guy who was running Ecuador, he was seeking, he went to Mexico to seek political asylum because they just wanted to unalive him. Costa Rica, the same way. Colombia, Honduras, Peru, and soon Brazil, based on what that movie that you guys have put on, that they're saying that it's pretty good. And then Mexico, which the T4 Morena party is is about to bite the dust, let the bodies hit the floor. Okay.
I like it when you say that.
And then the other one is the Castro regime in Cuba is also about to go down. Like I said the last time, they're looking at July 26th. There is a drop dead date that one of the generals that's doing the training in Puerto Rico has mentioned. There's a drop dead date that's already set. If the Cuban regime doesn't do what it needs to be done or step down, is what should be better said. We're just going to walk in, and we're going to have to fight a whole bunch of people with brooms and shit because they don't have anything, So in Venezuela, the return of the dollar system, the dollar is going to be the centerpiece of their trade. They were selling oil to China and not getting dollars in return, so they were selling it for whatever. Okay, yen, whatever they were getting, they were just getting all types of kooky stuff. I don't know. This one is big because this also ties into Venezuela, to the Maduro regime, Delcy Rodriguez in Venezuela, and that's Spain. And this is a big deal because the King of Spain, Felipe VI, has made an unprecedented move of distancing himself from the scandals of Zapatero and Pedro Sanchez, who is the current president. Zapatero used to be the ex-president, and all that involvement. And in other words, they're screwed, is what that means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're not. He's not going to back them up. He just, you're on your own on this because
leave them out in the cold, huh?
Oh yeah, there's no support from the king. The king is not supporting them anymore.
Wow.
Then back to Venezuela. Was as of yesterday afternoon, or yesterday night, better said, that at least they have found 235 dead from the earthquake, thousands more injured, and the countries from around the world are sending humanitarian help for search and rescue from countries like the U.S., Japan, Israel, and so on. And I think the Israelis should be the experts on this because they go through a lot of tunnels and bull. I'm being sarcastic.
Right.
Then on the other thing, The Supreme Court decision 6-3 about the green card holders, which are legal permanent residents. Okay, this is big because judges have been getting involved with this. Okay, a legal permanent resident he has to be a model citizen. He can't break the law, because he's here by the goodness of the government. And if the government if they, you can get kicked out of the country or get your LPR removed, even with a DWI.
Really?
Okay.
Wow.
Yes. So the thing is that there was a current case that an LPR was accused and had a case pending. He went out of country, and in this case, it was China. He went to China and came back. When he came back, the CBP didn't allow him to come into the country as an LPR. He got paroled in for the case. So that was the ruling, and it's the ruling says this is an LPR has been arrested but not convicted of moral turpitude, leaves the country, and upon returning can be denied entry into the United States as determined by the CBP officers. So what is moral turpitude, or crimes of moral turpitude? It's fraud, deceit, tax fraud, embezzlement, theft, larceny, violent crimes, murder, rape, and other acts of dishonest and moral depravity. Now, a lot of locals, local law enforcement in different states, and I'm pretty sure it happens here in El Paso too, where they arrest an LPR with under DWI or domestic violence. He beat up the wife or the kids, whatever the case may be, and that's not being reported to CBP. In that case, the guy can be deported. They can lift his card and send him back to where he came from.
Wow. That's pretty serious. Your
Yeah.
walking papers, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. It's very serious. They have to be a model citizen in order to maintain an LPR. They can't be involved in any, in any type of crime. Let's put it that way. Then another thing, back to Venezuela, the analysis are planning to do the reconstruction of Venezuelan armed forces. And let me give you an example of what we're talking about, or what they're coming to. Brazil has an army of 300,000 soldiers and has 45 generals, the restructuring of the military structure, right? Colombia has 240,000 with 55 generals. The U.S. has 1.3 million in the armed forces and 400 generals. Now you're talking 5 different military branches, because you have to include, 6, because you have to include Space Force, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. So that's 6, okay, in the U.S. Venezuela has 130, are you ready for this? With a grand total of 2,200 generals.
Wow. Wow. And all of them are probably in the cartels.
Exactly. Are involved in something. The other thing, Venezuela has authorized the U.S. the entry of U.S. Special Forces with the objective of locating, neutralizing ops against the transnational criminal organization that used Venezuela as a strategic corridor. Now, in that one there, you have to also remember that Venezuela is also part involvement of transnational across the pond, drug, narco terrorism, drug cartel, whatever you want to call it, because their cartel de Sol reaches all the way to Spain. Oh, and I don't know if you guys remember that the other day, it would happen. I can't remember the country, but it happened in Africa. There was a raid on a meth lab. Yeah, well, I guess it's the same thing. Meth lab in a country in Africa. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
And guess who was running the meth lab? A group of guys from the Sinaloa cartel.
Really? You know,
That's how far
Juan has always said that if you go to like certain places over there, that they're in stores, like insurance companies would be, like on the side of the road, they have businesses. This is corporations,
Yeah. But the raid was that they took down the Mexican cartels that supposedly allegedly they were from the Sinaloa cartel that were running the meth lab. And to close, on my side, Diosdado Cabello, which is Diosdado Cabello is was the director or secretary of the internal security in Venezuela. Okay. Now, the U.S. wanted his ass out. You either get out, turn yourself in, or we're going to get you. Well, he said, screw you, U.S., come get me. Because he has activated, which they had deactivated, a group called El Colectivo. And the Colectivo is like a gang that goes in, and you've probably seen them in some videos where there's a whole bunch of guys dressed in black, 2 per motorcycle with guns and stuff and doing all types of crazy stuff. Well, illegal stuff as harassment, extortion, assassinations, and so on. That was his arm, his strong arm to do internal security. Now, none of these guys are police officers, are military. They're just thugs. Okay. So they wanted him out because the U.S. knew that if he stays and he did what they thought he was going to do, they couldn't bring Maria Machado in to do the transition of the government. Okay. So the DEA has an open reward of $25 million for the capture and information of Cabello, and he's being charged with conspiracy to narco terrorism, importation of cocaine, and possession of heavy weapons. So,
who's having a party, isn't he?
Oh man, this guy is really, really a good guy.
Right. Well, Oathkeeper Bill, what are you up to, brother? What kind of stuff you got going on?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you're able to see this picture of these 2 young gentlemen right here. That's Harold and I Am. They're sitting down together having a beer.
Cool.
They text me saying, "Hey, I noticed you salted your beer." I'm having
little apple juice.
Little apple juice, I call it. But God bless you, I Am. God bless you, Harold. Thank you for what you do in this movement, because that's what this is all about. And other families, I say family now, the Telegram channels with Leah's Nuggets and Kayla, everybody's coming together, and I love it. I love how it is coming together, and that's what it's all about. We have a lot of wonderful people that study every day. Obviously, the Q posts, and I Am is just absolutely phenomenal with how he brings in the operation, with what the white hats are saying, with what the operation is doing. And then we have other people that dig and dig and dig. And our job, if you will, our day number one really hasn't even started yet. Our day number one is going to be to help our local communities. Once the actual veil is lifted, that's when our day number one actually starts. So when I look at people like Warren and Eddie and Sean Taylor's and Mitch Veckler's and Patrick Burns and different individuals that have kicked butt in locating, identifying, bringing forward the information that was needed for the upper echelon level of our federal government, if you will, in the essence, but our task forces that needed to be able to collect the collage of information in order to keep going with this mission. I tell you, we're in a good place right now. We are in absolute good place right now. And there's times people think we're in a boondoggle, but we're not in a boondoggle. We are ready to rock and roll. And it's very important, and things that help. I giggle and laugh because I'm thinking of Juan Savin right now when he was identifying what MSNBC were saying about us being the what was it, Eddie? Uh, we were the what was Batman? What was Batman? He was a. It starts with the letter V. Good Lord, I just had it in the back of my
Vendetta?
head. Huh?
Vendetta? Oh no, Vigilante. Vigilante.
A
Oh yeah.
vigilante.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Forgive me. I couldn't remember the word. Forgive me. So MSNBC identified us as vigilantes. And Juan Savin identified that MSNBC vigilante skit, if you will, during the fraud summit. Then it wasn't a week later, Elon Musk allows the privilege of this German movie called The Vigilante to come out.
Right.
That's not a coincidence.
No.
There's many of us in America, especially, who are ready to rock and roll. There's a lot of us that are heavily loaded. Not just beer. I mean, I'm talking. We're ready to rock and roll. We're ready to do what we feel necessary. That doesn't have to go kinetic. I want to implement. I am not condoning a kinetic movement, but I am condoning a fifth generation kinetic movement. Big difference. We don't have to go to the third generational warfare kinetic movement. This is an informational war. So you take the information and you use it as your weapon, if you will, and then you push it forward through your local communities. You take what Sean Taylor especially, with the information Sean Taylor brought forward in the Fraud Summit. You take forward what Mitch Veckler brought forward in the Fraud Summit. You take forward what these high integrity level patriots have studied, have tested, have proven, and you bring it forward now to your local communities in a fifth generational war technique, informational war. And you do it through email, you do it through text message, you do it through a visual video platform, you do it that way. It does not have to be kinetic. It will actually be better to do it that way than to actually do the physical attributes of it. That will come in time. That will come in time. My point is, we know enough, we have enough knowledge, and in our local levels, go to or via email. If you just have to email what Mark Cook has taken the time, the lot of personal time, to break up the 8+ hours, 11+ hours worth of the Fraud Summit into certain increments, how he did it on his X posts. You take them, you copy paste, send to your legislators, copy paste, send to your sheriff, copy paste, send to your father, your brother, your sister. Those algorithms will start breaking. This is a 5th generational war that we're in. Are we still Americans? Yes, thank God. It doesn't mean you have to go full kinetic. That's not the point. The 5th generational psychological warfare that we're in is actually the worst warfare than you've ever been in your life. 3rd generation warfare with the gunpowder and the lead bullet and the ball, and you shove it down the pipe, and you hope to hell you hit your target. Guess what? We're going to hit thousands of targets, millions of targets with our way of warfare now, the way that we need to be now. So I just wanted to bring that to the forefront, and we are ready to rock. And like what Alabama Alley is saying, memes. Do a meme. I don't care if you got to get a piece of paper and draw something. Draw something. Do something. And if you're looking for a job and you don't know what that job is, ask God. God will give you the job you need. Anyway, it's good to see you guys. God bless you. I am and Harold. I wish I was there with you. And it's good to see you guys. And Eddie, what wonderful information. Thank you.
Thank you.
As of right now, there's a whole lot fixing to go on between now and who knows, somewhere around the 17th of July, maybe the 24th of July, maybe the 13th of July. Who knows? There is the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate are in a state district work period until the week of July 13th. Then, there's a detailed timeline for returning to regular business, and that is the House of Representatives return for legislative business on Monday, July 13th. You can track stuff like that at the I think it's the House of Representatives legislative activity page or something like that. Senate convenes for a pro forma session on July 9th, but fully returns for active legislative business on Monday, July 13th. So I don't know. That might be something worth knowing. It might be something worth saying, what are they doing what's going on up there where nobody's up there taking care of things? At the same time, we have this great American state fair. I wouldn't be surprised if coalitions are meeting behind the scenes, discussing what's fixing to go on, what's happening in our fight against the cabal. I also wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing more about Q. I wouldn't be surprised if they start relating Q to quantum, and if certain AI, let's call it let's do this. Cyber attacks are probably incoming. Just be looking for that kind of stuff. When national emergencies go into play and people understand what can happen and that Trump can pull a trigger and executive orders start coming, whether it's for elections or for AI, that's when some pretty big things ought to start kicking up. I don't have a date, timeline, even, just know those are things that I'm looking for. I'm also looking for right now for, if you can tell, Trump is stabilizing the Middle East. For anybody that's looking for blessings, for good things to happen, maybe the revaluation of currency and things like that, that might have a big role to play. Trump had his big speech, and it was, if you listen to it, man, all the wonderful things that he's done, the $19.1 trillion in investments in the United States, the taxes and things, you can't tell it yet, but it's fixing to kick in. There is what you call a jubilee coming. All right. And that thing's coming. It's coming down. You can see it. It's like that storm that we started looking at about 3 or 4 weeks ago. And all of a sudden it's right here on us. And it seemed kind of far away, but it's not. It's not. So I say, get ready, keep going. You might want to even understand Q and watch Trump and the things that he's saying about Q, because there's some big things happening. I would be looking and watching some of the big players right now, which would be Schiff, Pelosi, Mike Pence. Mike Pence's name's going to come up. Todd Blanche might have him in the crosshairs. Pence alongside Olivia Troy, I believe. And then Mark Short, accused of being the main White House leakers of everything. And they're fixing to go down hard on some suckers. They're taking all the rats out. They're getting rid of the freaking rats. And it's a coordinated effort. Believe me, it's, you ain't got to believe me. Just watch. Trump. Go ahead, brother.
And if I may, none of this can come from President Trump. It's got to be from we the people. It has to be. This has got to be a we the people movement. And it's going to organically come about. I was telling some friends today, they're like, Billy, how can you be right about this? I was like, I don't know if I'm right about any of it. I don't know. The only thing I can identify is communism is bad. Socialism is bad. Do you not agree? Well, yeah, of course it is. I'm like, well, what about man dummy? I call him man dummy, and I never say his proper name is man dummy. I say man dummy. Okay. What about man dummy and his people that are around him in New York City? Do you not see how far-fetched that is? Do you not see how far-fetched that is? Do you honestly think that the election system is properly working if people like man dummy and his girlfriends are making any type of position that is lawfully allowed in America? Do you
Amen.
honestly feel that? Do you honestly feel that that is proper? And do you honestly feel it was actual New Yorkers that allowed that privilege to occur? Do you honestly feel? No, there's no way. I said, oh, blah, blah, blah. Let's stop with that. Write that down. And they get pissed off at me because they're like, you're talking to me like I'm stupid. I'm like, no. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but the piece of paper I just gave you, write that down. I think this is stupid. Anyway, it doesn't make any sense. If it doesn't make any sense, go with that. When
Amen.
you hear the New York State governor say, I am making a law that gestational and non-gestational parents will now be that's what she's saying now. That's what she's saying now. It's gestational and non-gestational parents. Yeah. You might as well talk like that. You might as well talk like that.
Amen.
Does it make any sense? No. Is it stupid? Yes. I mean, come on. The white hats are in control. This is a military operation. It is a military operation. Operation.
Amen. And there's fixing to be a purge coming, brother.
And that has to happen a lot in order for people to wake the heck up.
They'll wake up in due time, though. Thank the Lord. I
Well,
think we
anyway,
got some
I just
stuff
wanted to say
fixing
that.
to happen that's going
But
to
the
do
thing
some
is that
wakey time.
you start talking about socialism, communism, and all they talk about is free, free, free. Where's all that free stuff going to come from? They're going to take away what you own, what little you own, and give it to somebody else. And what's going to happen when you can't give anything else? You're going to be in lines like they had in Russia during the Soviet Union, in Cuba, in Venezuela. And all these people who are in charge are what? Pocketing the money, getting themselves rich, getting rich. Look at Maduro, over $300 million, a $50 million mansion in Turkey, 50 million in something else. And giving away stuff that doesn't belong to them, like giving to the ex-president of Spain, Zapatero, a gold mine that has a vein of 60,000 tons of gold. Giving it away for what? That doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the people.
Amen.
So like you said, instead of this way, it should be pop, 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 like on the side of the head, because I'm sorry. The reason I get upset about it, because I patrolled the 1K zone in Germany, between Germany, the Free Germany, and Czechoslovakia when I was in Germany. I know what I saw. I saw how the fence was intended not to let people in, but to keep people from coming out. You could touch that fence and they knew what side of the fence you were touching. The fence was designed that if you tried, because it looked like a chain link fence, if you try to climb it, you will cut your fingers off because it's razor sharp on the inside of the fence. Okay, so no. No, I'm sorry.
It can get aggravating. It can get really aggravating.
Very much.
Yeah. There's been so many years of propaganda. It's been so difficult for the traditional, for today's American, if you will, to really identify what has happened to them. We have Black Lives Matter. We have the Pride Month. We have LGBTQ plus. I've been telling my local community and my local council and my local legislators, how dare you use the black man and gay man and woman against them? Whoa, what do you mean by that? Well, you have an LGBTQ flag outside your municipal building. You have a BLM flag flying. Well, we are here for them. No, you are using the black man, the black woman. You are using the gay man, the gay woman. How dare you, and shame on you.
And then
Shame
paying them through USAID, paying people like that through NGOs. I mean, think about it. Over 1,000 NGOs operating in and around Afghanistan is what they had. Yeah, there should be significant freaking concern for that. But I think those things are getting handled. We're seeing things, chill out. It's a systemic issue, and NGOs, pretty much to me, they're received as the biggest scam, with financial conditions kind of ranging from underfunded and to well-funded. They say they're going to do all this. They say they're going to do this. They don't do anything for anybody that I can find, and I think it starts out sometimes as well-intentioned people. But I think once that seed money gets in there from wealthy donors, somebody comes in there with $1 million donations, and U.S. federal bureaucrats come in and treat it like they're taking over a company, a corporation, and they delegitimize everything. But that money is what triggers those federal grants. They're giving the grants to NGO that they or their family owns. Oh, and that's all federal taxpayer money. So we're fighting them,
Yep. But we need to get to the fundamentals of why. Why in the first place? We're not supposed to be here. PPN. We're not supposed to be here right now. The fundamentals is Agenda 2021, Agenda 2030. These NGOs and all of these established organizations, they were tools to end America. That's all there is to it. They were tools to end America from within. But they lost. They never succeeded. Thank God to the special operators behind the scenes, whether it's the Q team since Abraham Lincoln's time frame, who have throughout the many, many decades built and built and died and built and built and died, built and built and died to save our lives, not just our republic, but humanity altogether. There's a reason why those Georgia Guidestones were tore down, because of our white hats, our good people tore them down. That was a excellent. We're here, and you're not going to win. The Georgia Guidestones identified 500 million people on the planet Earth by the year 2030. That's in 4 years. Guess what, bitches? Your plan didn't work out very well, did it? We're still here. We're not going anywhere. We're only building. And as a matter of fact, my youngest boy is having a baby. So we're going to add one more to the till.
Congratulations. Edward, any last words? Bring it out, and then we're going to hop off here. I'm getting on the road here in just a second.
Well, the last thing that I saw, there was another earthquake, 5.4 northwest of Cuba, that was also felt in southern Florida.
Well, just keeps on. And
Mhm.
those
Good night,
DWs, see you later, Bill.
Drive safe, Warren. Drive
Yes,
it like
sir.
it's
Have a
cold.
good one. Okay, bye.
Safe drive, safe travels. All right.
That what were you just talking about? Was that the what was that you were just talking about?
Earthquake.
Okay.
Another one.
Something else. Something else I was going to
Another
talk about.
earthquake in northwest Cuba. Well, it's actually out in the ocean, that was felt all the way into Florida, southern Florida.
Isn't it
Right.
amazing that these DEWs are nothing new? There's nothing new under the sun. They were used a long time ago, but
Yeah.
here it is again. There's nothing new under the sun. Edward, appreciate you so much. We'll
You have a safe trip.
yes,
Say
sir.
hi to the fellas.
All right, we'll do. Have a good one.
Muchachos over there.
We'll do.
And
We'll
we'll
do.
see you next week.
All right.
And on Talk Time.
Okay. Bye. I'll be with y'all all weekend.
You got it.
Bye. Thanks for joining. We'd love for you to come hang out with us at join.patriot.com. When you do, there's state groups, different things going on, put some information out there, and come see me and talk time. Appreciate it. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and stay out of trouble or don't. Thanks, and bye.